Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Wings Mobile Detailing Podcast. Today, we're talking on a business topic, and this is, if not the most important topic that I've ever covered in business and in a relationship. We're going to talk about how to know who you can trust. And again, this is really important. I'm only 25 years old, but that does not matter. Years does not count the amount of experience each person has. But yes, the amount of learning that they've gone through, the amount of knowledge that they've acquired and actually retained to themselves. And I had in this aspect, I have a lot more to learn. But one of the points that I know is how to know who you can trust or who would actually bond with you. Who at the end of the day is not going to leave you hanging. And it's each one of you's responsibility, all of you listeners. If you've gone before, if you're the type of people who's gone before and start crying and whining how everybody just let you down at the end and you can't trust anybody, this is not their fault. It's your fault. It's your fault for not knowing the traits, for not understanding and not knowing who you can have around you. It's your responsibility to have good people around you or people who you can trust or some type of personality who you know works for it. And there are a few warning signs that these people give away at the beginning. I mean, maybe in the first hour that you're talking to them, you can already get how they act, what type of person they are. If they're a person you can trust, if you're a person you can trust with certain topics. Some people you can trust with telling them one thing and not telling the other thing because it's different personalities. And I'm going to go through what usually these people say, how these people act, so that you don't get into any type of business transactions with these people. So at the end, you're not crying and whining that you're let down by everybody.
Welcome to the Wings Mobile Detailing Business and Automotive Podcast, the only podcast that will guide you on how to start and grow six-figure companies. As our team expand from one business location to worldwide domination, you will get step-by-step insights from a millennial franchisor and franchise owner with your host, Mezalira.
Now, first, you must learn how to trust people. And there is a popular saying that goes, oh, don't trust anybody. You cannot trust anybody. I hate, sad to say it, but if you're one of those people who believe that, if you're in business, there's no way you can delegate tasks or grow the business big if you don't trust anybody. If you don't trust anybody, it's even hard to live life. Because you have to delegate tasks, whatever you're dealing with, maybe friendship or whatever it is. You have to trust them at a certain point or learn what you can trust from them or learn who you can trust. And these are the people that is more susceptible to be trustworthy, the people with this positive. And I'm also going to give you the points that people that are less trustworthy. But again, There are people who you can trust, and you have to if you're going to delegate tasks in business, and you have to watch out for these things. Number one point that I want to start off with is, and it's funny that it always towards the end, they act the same way when at the beginning, the people at the beginning that are met you or that you are your co-worker, for example, and it always comes with this talk that they're going to help you. That they're there for you. Hey, I'm there for you. I'm gonna help you. Let's do it together. I'm all yours. Always they sounded overly excited, and that's not evil. They're not being bad, and maybe they believe they kid themselves thinking that they're gonna be there with you all the way, but they usually do that all the time. If they talk too much, and I'm saying. Those people who talk too much, who repeats the same thing that they're going to help you, use the word help, they're usually the first ones to leave. And if you've experienced people like that, just analyze on your life back. People who say that they're going to help, and they're the first ones to leave. Is it their fault that, does that mean that they let you down? No, it's your responsibility to not expect their help, to not rely on them. So again, if that happens, don't blame these people. But if you get people in front of you who keeps coming with that same word, maybe you can get their help at the beginning if you need it. But don't expect that to be always like that or to trust their words. that they're gonna always help you, because they're usually saying just talk. It's just pure talk, and they're not gonna be there at the end. And again, don't blame them. Don't blame them, but learn to yourself, okay, I'm gonna watch out for that. Again, that's warning number one. If you see that, watch out. If a lot of people are saying, I got you, I'm gonna help you, I'm here with you all the way, they're usually the first ones to leave. Now, the opposite of that are the quiet ones. Now, who can you trust? If this trait is something that you have to watch out for and not rely on them too much or not be too close to them in a way. The opposite is those who just do their job, what they're supposed to do if they're your co-workers, or who just do their things and they just don't say anything. They're more quiet, in their own place, and they don't come out with big talks and try to promise you stuff, that how much they're gonna be there for you and help you and give you all the pep talk. And those people who are more quiet on their own, and sometimes they will show their humbleness, that they're actually the ones that truly help and don't expect anything in return. Number 2 is actually the humble people that I'm gonna cover. Now that help people, when you hear that, I'm gonna help you, expect towards the end that, don't rely on their help, because they're probably the first ones to leave. Number 2 is people who, they want to portray themselves that they're humble. They want to sound like they're humble, so they force that, they act a certain way to make people think that they are humble. Maybe they think that that's the right way of doing, so they do sometimes they come with small talk, by saying, oh, I don't have the conditions, I don't have financial conditions, I'm poor, yeah, I'm gonna try my best, but I don't have capability of doing that. They try to sound too humble just to get the title of being humble, but that is actually the opposite. That is being arrogant. That's the reality. If they are trying to portray an image that they're not naturally giving out to you, those are the people who is arrogant, and you be careful in trusting them, because that's not really them. Or sometimes it's just annoying. If you don't trust them, it just annoys you, because you're like, oh, I don't have the means for it. And they clearly do have the means. They clearly do have conditions. If it's financial conditions or capable of doing a service, they clearly really good at it, and they start coming to you and say, oh, I'm not a pro on that. But maybe they actually are a pro, but they are just wanted to give you that image that they're humble. And by that, they're being arrogant, because they're trying to force something or make you think they're a certain way that they are not. I've seen a lot of cases like that, and I only say it because I have personal experience with all these different types, these different traits that I dealt with, and different backgrounds. People from, obviously, here in the United States and Brazil. There's a lot of people in Brazil that we can use a lot of examples of. Different culture overall, but overall, that's the one thing. Then that's the number 2 trait that you watch out for. But this humble part is it's kind of just annoying. Where people who's just saying that they'll help you, it's not just annoying, but it can be dangerous if you actually believe them, and then you're gonna be let down later on. And we're trying to avoid to get you let down here. You're not supposed to be let down. It's your responsibility again to not be let down. Now, number 3 is, and put on the comments, guys, if you're listening to this and if you got same experience, if you noticed and realized that, oh, hey, this actually is how they are at the beginning. When I found out about these people, that's usually how it ends up. Number 3 is people who talks just too much. They not only, I will be there for you, that's part of, they just offering help, but who talk too much, offering you something. Maybe somebody's trying to offer you a job, and everything is just great. Everything sounds just so amazing. Hey, if you start, there are a lot of employers actually that does that. They start promising a lot of stuff for new employees because they don't want to retain that employee, and that's very, very unethical and messed up. Now, it's one thing for you to be unethical and do that purposely. It's a whole nother thing when these people, the same people, but you have to watch out anyways. But there's some other types of people who does that, and they believe to themselves that that the opportunity is actually really huge and big, and everything is just so much better than it actually is in reality. And both ways, the worst type, I think, is the ones that believe to themselves that what they're saying is true, is because they're selling to you a fake reality. And if you believe in that and then that doesn't happen later on, whose fault is it? It's your fault, because you should have watched from the beginning. So that's why I'm telling you. Now, it is worse when it comes from people who actually believe in themselves that the opportunity they are offering you is really good than those people who's actually trying to manipulate. They know it isn't, but they're just saying it. Because the ones that actually believe in their own they are delusional and they believe in their own bullshit that they're saying. They actually believe that it's actually true, that's actually that great and everything is awesome. These are the ones you have to watch out for, because it's easier to believe them. And why is that? Because they believe in themselves and they are trying to sell you something, a fake reality that they really believe in. And why is it easier to fall for on those people? And when you fall on that and you believe them because you want to believe because it sounds so great and you just want to be part of it, whatever it is. And then at the end, you and him fall. Everything breaks down, fall. And then you both are going to be complaining, oh, why is this happening to me and all that bullshit. But you guys didn't watch out for that. But why? Because why is it easier to believe those people who believe that what they're telling you is truth? Because when you're selling a product, there's that thing that when you're selling a product that you truly believe is going to do well for the person, you have to first buy the product yourself. You have to believe in your product. You have to buy your own product. Be the first customer of your own product. And these people, and when they are the first customer and they bought their product, they believe in their product, they can actually sell it to you with much more ease because they're believing in their product, and it's easier for you to buy because it's very convincing, because they convince themselves on it. But this point number 3 is there's a lot of people out there like that. There's a lot of people who just talk, and they believe in their own fake reality, and sometimes they act in their own lives like that. And that's why, if you're especially in a business deal, you really have to check out their own life, their actual lives inside, to see if everything that they're showing is, they kid themselves. They really believe that they are all that great, and they really are not. So you have to collect your facts to see if they're a really transparent person to even themselves, and you can either trust their talk or not trust their talk. Now, if you go and you trust those people because their talk sounds just so great, and that's usually how it is, they're not going to try to manipulate on something that's not good, and you accept that offer and you go all the way, be ready to be let down. If you already got in the deal or believe in the person in one thing, whatever it may be, because of the talk is so good, and you're like, oh, I just want to believe it, I just want to go, because you're excited just as they are, because obviously everything just sounds too exciting, too good to be truth, which normally is, then just be ready to fail, and don't blame them for your mistake, because it's also your mistake for believing that. They're in the wrong because they're believing in themselves, and they're not gonna get anywhere. They're always gonna be inside a huge bubble with their own big mouth. And it's also your responsibility to watch out for those things. Again, this is fake and delusional people. They're fakely excited about their fake reality that they're trying to create in their own head, and they want to believe it or show others such thing, which is they're just delusional people who talks a lot. If you get that trait, people who talks a lot and say you have to do it this way or that way, just watch out. And normally these people also, there's one more point that I like to cover because this is very big, is these people who actually talk too much, they may seem like they're doing well, in reality, because they're only showing from the outside. In Brazil, there's a Portuguese saying that we call it fachada. And it means just a showroom. They only have a store with they're just like a showroom. And on the back, the actual what's going on in the back, everything's falling apart, but they have the beautiful storefront to show customers to come in, and it's called fachada in Portuguese. And these people, it seems they're doing well because they have the beautiful storefront they portray their lives like everything is going just so great. And it's awesome because you can catch those people, right? It's so easy to catch those people. You don't have to spend too much time with them for you to find out, okay, just get away, just go away. Everything sounds just so good, and they don't have facts to back their greatness, their quote unquote greatness. And those people usually only do deals with people who are just like them. They're gonna they usually have their egos inflated, who are just going to be getting business with the same people who are just like them. And that never stops. Number 4 is another category of people who you don't want to, by trust, I mean, have near you, take their advice or be influenced by them. That's what I mean by not trusting. It's not a bad thing. I'm not calling these people, untrustworthy. But it's just that you don't want to trust it in your life, and you don't want to be influenced by them. That's it. So number 4 is the success. I call it chicken jump success seekers, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why I call it chicken jump. There's those people who just go from one opportunity to the other, just jump to good opportunities, and they're excited with short-term, very, very short-term success because they hear that something sounds great. Oh, this opportunity is so great. The money's there. I'm going to go there. And then that doesn't work. And then they jump somewhere else. Why? You don't want to be influenced by these people because they're just short-term, trying to get fruits of their labor in a matter of a few weeks or months. And why do we call it chicken jumps? Because those are the people who, how chicken actually jumps, chicken flight. That's it. It's not chicken jump. It's chicken flight. It's because how chicken how chicken flies. If you guys know, they don't actually fly. They just jump from one place to the other. And chicken flight it doesn't last long. Their flight doesn't last long. So it's just like they just jump. And these people are just like that's what they're doing. Chicken flight. They go from one place to the other, and they're not actually flying. If that makes sense, I think that's one of the best comparisons, man. Come on. Success seekers. And those are the people that you don't want to have around you. You don't want to really give them much credit. Just let them pass by on your life because they're not going to bring anything good. They don't have anything tangible, anything long-term to offer you. If you get in anything with them, in any business opportunity or any partnership with these type of people, be ready to get yourself again frustrated at the end if you're one of the people who is there for the long term and fight for what you want. Getting paid, usually if you're starting something new or within a few years in business, a lot of years sometimes, you're not going to get paid too much. There's a lot of work at the beginning. There's a lot of things that you got to give up. And these people, these chicken flight people, they're not patient at all. They're not going to be there. So just watch out for you to see their past. The way for you to know who these people actually are. Normally, these people also sound overly excited with any type of opportunity that sounds good. They all have common traits where at the beginning they all sound super excited. Maybe they're kid themselves. So they watch out for people with this trait overall who just sound overly excited and want to do something with you because everything is just great. They're all overly excited. So get away from that because they can have all these bad traits that I cover in this podcast overall. Now, the good people on the other spectrum, there can be people who's excited about things. I'm not saying getting away because if you're dealing with business with somebody, you want excitement. You want people who actually believe in their product and they want to try to portray that anyway. I'm that way. I'm really excited with what I do. I'm excited when I go and sell franchise opportunities for people to open Wings Mobile Detailing their state. And I'm excited. I'm explaining to them, but I'm also realistic. So that's the difference. I'm also realistic and I'm telling them, hey, this is what you're going to expect in the first year, which is good. It is good. But I tell them that what they're going to get in between, there are going to be problems because that's how businesses are. And all the fruits of their labor, they're not going to get in the first or second year. Heck, maybe not in the third, fourth year. They're going to get, they're going to get fruits, but not as good as much of the other people promise. So I'm actually clear with them. I'm excited when I'm presenting, and that's okay. But they're not only seeing the positive side on it. They're only not just promising, oh, everything's great. Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. This or that, because everything's just gonna go smooth. That's when you can differentiate, and you can kind of tell by their tone of voice, or by actually the things that they're actually presenting to you, and see if that actually makes sense. Now, who are the the good people to have around you, people you can admire and get influence from? The opposite of these traits. So I cover kind of the negative side. Now, the positive side is starting with people who's actually there to help you. Again, and I said at the beginning of this podcast, these are the people usually they're more quiet and they just do it. They don't expect anything in return. They actually show that they do. And if they can't do it, they will tell you. They will tell you that, hey, I'm not able to do it. I'm not able to help you. But normally the ones, I'm going to use a huge example of charity events as well. People who actually go to charity events and help other communities. They help people or they help their friends. And usually these people, they help and nobody knows about. That's actually that's the meaning of charity, of when you help and your right hand gives and your left hand doesn't know what the right one gave. That's actually charity. Now, on the other spectrum, they are the people who actually goes to charity events, or they help others with intentions to get to earn recognition back, to earn the respect of that person who they just helped, or they want to earn maybe not monetary help because they're giving money, but what they want to earn in return is the recognition. Is people to see them, oh, look, to inflate their own ego. That's not being charitable. That's not being charitable, and it is a shame for people who does that. Very shameful. And it is beautiful to see the real charitable people, because I've personally know people who are who are charitable, and the only way that I got to know the help that they give is by just being with them, the way they talk and the things that I know they've done, but they never talk about it. Like, for them, they help, and usually these good people who helps being charitable, and you ask them about it. Hey, you did this. I appreciate it. If you're gonna thank them, they're like, no, man, that was nothing. They act like that wasn't even a help what they offer. It's like that was their responsibility, or it didn't mean anything to them, or they don't need the recognition. They can show by the way that they act towards you. That's beautiful. That's one of the most beautiful traits. I wish I had more of that, but there's one of the beautiful traits, and I have friends who are charitable like that. They don't know about it, but I do. That I find them very charitable, and they give without expecting anything in return. And when we talk to them about it, they just clear out like nothing happened. The other part, number 3, is, as we went over those people who sound overly excited to you and they're presenting. The opposite of these people, that you normally trust them, these people more, the ones that are more realistic. At the same time, they're not pessimistic. Let's not go to there. There's a balance there. You don't want to do business with people who are negative and pessimist with anything and everything, or you don't want to do business with people who's overly optimistic because really they killed themselves and all the problems that we went through on this podcast. There's a balance. People can be sound excited about what they're presenting, because if you're doing business, again, you need excitement, you need ambition, you need positivity, but you also need reality. You can do a reality check. So if the person is just talking too much, just talking too much, and they want to put themselves on top sometimes, that's when you just run away. And you look for those good people who actually they don't try to manipulate a conversation that they're having with you and always gravitate towards themselves, in a selfish or trying to inflate their own egos as they're talking to you. That is a bad trait. The good trait is the opposite of that. Now, another good person that you want to be influenced by is the opposite of the chicken flight, of the short-term success seekers. And how do you find these people? I told you how to recognize the people who were chicken flight, and the people who were not chicken flight, who's actually there for the long term. How do you find these people? Is they normally, you got to look through their lives, through the background, and sometimes by you living with them for, not living with them, but for you to doing business with them for a while, or knowing them for a little while. That's how you can find out if they are the types of person who just go from one opportunity to another, or if they sounded too excited. If they don't sound too excited, if they're there for the long term, if they've gone through obstacles before with you, and they show endurance, they show like that they're sticking with it. There's no matter what ups and downs come by, when they get hit by something going all south, going bad, which happens in every business. And if that happens and they stay there strong and going strong on their goal and sticking with that plan that they had in hands and make that work, those are the people you can trust more. This is one of the good qualities that our co-host Arsalan, he does have, Arsalan Karimi, where, sometimes the business goes south, like it happens to every business, but he stays strong. He stayed there for the long term. He knows it's set in his mind. Okay, he's got to get through it to go to take the next step. He just doesn't abandon the ship and go with all other opportunities that comes his way, which it does. But no, you got to stay strong. And those are the people who you can be like, okay, I can be part of a business with it. I know I can trust in this aspect, and we go forward for the long term. And you don't want to stay away from the opposite type of people, the ones that are chicken flight, who just seek success, bits of success here and there, and at the end of the day, they don't have anything because they didn't grow anything. They didn't put their hard work, sweat, effort into something long term. Guys, I know there's a lot more to cover. We're past 20 minutes of this podcast now, and as I come up with more things, I'm going to be posting a blog on this podcast soon. If I get anything new, I'm going to add to this blog. And you can read the blog if you follow us on Instagram, or just follow Wings Mobile Detailing either on YouTube, on Instagram, or franchise.wingsmobiledetailing.com. If you want to be part of this long-term success, get in a business where we don't look for just short-term rewards. Although there are really good short-term rewards, but if you want to start your own business, you're willing to put your heart, sweat, be in the front line and learning everything about it, and growing already in a vehicle that is shown to be proving for success, then check it out, franchise.wingsmobiledetailing. We're available in still a lot of states throughout the United States. We're growing big. As we grow even more and we're going nonstop, the opportunity does decrease. So it's a really great time to get buy-in now. It's an automobile detailing company, and this type of business style is where with time you manage people, you manage employees, and not going to be doing the technical work, although at first it does require for you to do the technical work, because for a business to succeed, the owner needs to know everything about the front line. The owner needs to know everything that goes on inside the business. Otherwise, it would be just chicken flight. If you want to be part of it, something great, something that grows, check it out, Wings Mobile Detailing. It's franchise.wingsmobiledetailing.com. Thank you so much for listening. This podcast will be posted every Wednesday. We have a new podcast. Thank you.